The very nature of acting involves a calculated transformation. Of course, some actors play an exaggerated version of themselves. But true thespians have the ability to shapeshift and become entirely unique characters. But sometimes this metamorphosis goes beyond mere costumes and mannerisms. From extreme weight loss to nightmarish prosthetics, we are discovering actors who became unrecognizable for a role. Jared Leto is an A-list actor and a successful musician with his band 30 Seconds to Mars. He was first widely recognized for his harrowing portrayal of a drug addict in the Darren Aronofsky film Requiem for a Dream. From there, he secured roles in movies like The Dallas Buyers Club and Suicide Squad. But Leto's 2007 portrayal of Mark David Chapman, John Lennon's murderer, was undoubtedly his most physically challenging. For the role, Leto gained 67 pounds, approaching the world record. This unbelievable lifestyle left him with gout, a disease that traditionally only affects royalty or those with extremely rich diets. He has since vowed never to pile on the pounds for a movie again, as he doesn't want to put his health in jeopardy. About the experience, he said, "Really, it's a stupid thing to do. I got gout, and my cholesterol went up so fast in such a short time that my doctors wanted to put me on Lipitor, which is for much older people. Again, though, it's a fascinating journey." The 2003 movie Monster is truly horrifying to watch. Charlize Theron plays real-life serial killer Eileen Carol Wuornos, who was sentenced to death for the murder of 7 men in 2002. To embody this role, Theron, who until then was only known as a super attractive model, had to gain 30 pounds, actively damage her hair, and create pockmarked, ugly skin. Theron had her eyebrows bleached and partially shaven. Layers of washed-off tattoo ink were placed on her skin to make it look older and neglected. Theron had to wear dentures that changed the shape of her mouth and her pronunciation completely. Finally, she spent hours watching documentaries about Wuornos in order to capture her mannerism in the most adequate manner. All of the effort paid off. Audiences worldwide were stunned by what Theron and the makeup team had managed to achieve. Theron said that she needed to endure all of these changes in order to understand what Wuornos was going through. The serial killer was plagued by body issues, and Theron wanted to get to the same place for a more adequate portrayal of the character. Probably the contemporary actor most closely associated with dramatic shifts in body type, Christian Bale has proven to be a shapeshifter in numerous roles. Of course, Hollywood has the ability to change body type using prosthetics, costumes, and CGI. But Bale is a bit of an obsessive actor who remains determined to perform remarkable feats of physical metamorphosis. No movie has a more dramatic weight loss than 2004's The Machinist, losing 63 pounds in total. Bale wanted to embody a deeply unhealthy character who hasn't slept in months. The Christian Bale weight loss diet consisted of an apple and a can of tuna fish per day. Occasionally, he used Anne Hathaway's weight loss strategy of eating just 2 thin squares of dried oatmeal paste. It's also reported that Bale drank a lot of coffee, chewed gum, smoked cigarettes, and ate salads to prepare for his role. This feat is even more remarkable because Bale became extremely muscular for his role in the Batman franchise and gained 40 pounds for his role in Vice. Strangest of all, the film's producers had no expectation that he'd attempt these wild body modifications. The motivation came solely from Bale himself. Robert De Niro has settled into more comfortable roles later in life, but before Meet the Parents and Dirty Grandpa, De Niro was Martin Scorsese's go-to leading man. From Taxi Driver to King of Comedy, De Niro completely transformed from one role to the next, but no role was more transformative than Raging Bull. First, Robert De Niro had to get into serious shape to play boxer Jake LaMotta. To get the full experience, De Niro actually trained inside the boxing ring, with LaMotta at his side. Later, the actor had to gain weight to play the older version of LaMotta. To pack on an insane 60 pounds in 4 months, De Niro binge-ate his way through northern Italy and France. At one point during filming, director Martin Scorsese temporarily shut down production out of fear for De Niro's health. The actor's extreme weight gain had affected his posture, breathing, and talking. Raging Bull proved to be one of the most ambitious films for both De Niro and Scorsese, but it was a mediocre success at the box office, only grossing $23 million. Though it has become one of his most iconic films, Scorsese was worried at the time that it would be the end of his career. Before being cast in Stanley Kubrick's 1987 movie Full Metal Jacket, Vincent D'Onofrio was a trim, good-looking athlete. A rugged 6 feet 3 inches tall, and with his full head of curly dark hair, the kind of man who makes women's heads turn. But after winning the part of Leonard, the fat, inept, and increasingly disturbed Marine recruit who serves as the dramatic fulcrum for the first half of the film, Mr. D'Onofrio was obliged to put on nearly 70 pounds and shave his head. A physical transformation that had a shocking effect. "It changed my life," he said. "Women don't look at me. Most of the time I was looking at their backs as they were running away. People used to say things to me twice because they thought I was stupid." But his dedication paid off. The role put D'Onofrio on the map and still serves as his most iconic role. In fact, the 70 pounds he gained for the film still claimed the world record for the most weight gained for a role, and the film required even greater personal sacrifice. While filming an obstacle course scene for the movie, D'Onofrio injured his left knee, compounded by the excessive weight, which required surgical reconstruction. Though his role in Harry Potter introduced him to a new generation of film buffs, Ralph Fiennes was already an established veteran of the British film scene, with movies such as Schindler's List, The English Patient, and In Bruges under his belt. But his role as Voldemort in the Harry Potter series is still one of his most iconic appearances. In the spring of 2019, Fiennes admitted that he very nearly said no to the role, mostly thanks to the fact that he had absolutely no familiarity with the Potter books or films up to that point. However, his nieces and nephews convinced him to take on the role, and the rest is history. This role was impressive not because of any major shift in body type, but rather a series of involved makeup and costume routines. For one thing, Fiennes had to have his head shaved nearly every day. Then he was affixed with long fingernails. Makeup technicians used superglue to attach these creepy appendages. Lastly, he spent hours every day in the makeup chair, becoming the ghastly figure that is Voldemort. Matt Damon has transformed his physique a number of times to prepare for film roles, but back in 1995 he was tasked with dropping pounds before playing soldier-turned-heroin addict Specialist Ilario in Courage Under Fire. Opening up recently about the experience, the 46-year-old revealed how he dropped 40 pounds without any advice from doctors, nutritionists, or trainers. He said, "I think the most challenging role that I've ever had was when I did Courage Under Fire, and I had to lose all the weight that I lost on my own," he said. "That was the most physically challenging thing I've ever had to do in my life. I weigh probably 190 pounds now, and I weighed 139 in that movie, and that's not a natural weight for me, and not a happy weight for me, even when I was 25. To achieve this extreme body type, Damon ate only chicken cutlets to guarantee he wasn't getting proper nutrition, and ran 13 miles every day. Though he had to hire a medical professional to help him safely reach a normal weight again, the sacrifice paid off. Damon was cast in the starring role of Good Will Hunting the next year, which launched him to superstardom. Michael Fassbender was a relatively unknown actor before he was cast in the 2008 movie Hunger. Directed by Steve McQueen, the film follows the brutal tale of the 1981 Irish hunger strike. The hunger strike was the culmination of a 5-year protest during the Troubles by Irish Republican prisoners in Northern Ireland. The incident received much attention in the media, especially after 10 hunger strikers died of starvation. The strapping 6-foot actor lost over 35 pounds for the role to accurately portray the wasting body of Sands as the hunger strike wore on. Fassbender went to LA, found a place on the beach, and shed weight with the warmth of the sun on his back. Surviving on nuts, berries, and sardines, the actor dropped the pounds over a 10-week period. However, as he recently revealed, the weight wasn't the only thing he lost. "I was so focused, it was unbelievable. I felt I had the answers to so many things. What was also interesting was that my libido left me," Fassbender said recently. Though it's been overshadowed by his popularity in music, Curtis Jackson, better known as 50 Cent, has an illustrious acting career as well, with major roles in films like Get Rich or Die Trying, Escape Plan, and Spy. 50 Cent has proven he has acting chops, but one role in particular gained him serious attention. The 43-year-old musician turned movie star lost more than 50 pounds, dropping from 214 to 160 to portray a cancer patient in the movie Things Fall Apart. In it, 50 Cent stars as a promising college football player who was diagnosed with cancer. In order to pull off this wild permutation, 50 Cent started a liquid diet and 3-hour-a-day treadmill walks for 9 weeks. The end result is haunting, as Jackson looks like a gaunt shadow of his former self. Ultimately, his sacrifice was not rewarded, because the movie went direct to video and made almost no money. Rooney Mara's physical transformation to play the part of Lisbeth Salander in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo was nothing short of brutal. At the hands of makeup artist Pat McGrath, costume designer Trish Somerville, and hairstylist Danilo, Mara submitted to having her head shaved, and the remaining locks dyed black, her eyebrows bleached to appear invisible, and various piercings in her ears and nose. It was all in a day's work for the young actress, who was plucked from obscurity to play the part of Salander. She'd been spotted by David Fincher, the film's director, after appearing in The Social Network, and beat Scarlett Johansson to the role. She was initially traumatized by her own appearance. "The eyebrows were the biggest shock, because that really changed my face, and I didn't recognize myself," says Mara. "But I was fine because I knew it was going to be really helpful for getting into character." Of course, the makeover was not as unhealthy as the severe weight shift, but it still had a huge effect on her self-image. The first comedy film on our countdown, Tropic Thunder, is a 2008 movie directed by Ben Stiller and starring Robert Downey Jr., Jack Black, and Steve Coogan. But the cast was exceptional, even down in the fine print. Though he didn't have a leading role, Tom Cruise stole the show for many viewers. Tom Cruise was rendered virtually unrecognizable when he donned a bald cap, prosthetic hands, fat suit, and hairy chest to play psychotic movie mogul Les Grossman in Tropic Thunder. According to screenwriters Ben Stiller and Justin Theroux, Cruise was responsible for pretty much every aspect of the character, from the hairy arms right down to Grossman's iconic dance. This came at a pivotal moment in Cruise's career. The once beloved actor had made a fool of himself publicly, been cut from his contract with Paramount Studios, and lost contact with his kids. His role in Tropic Thunder showed he still had a sense of humor and endeared him to the public once again. Cate Blanchett is one of Hollywood's greatest chameleons. She has portrayed many characters over her career, including an elf queen, socialite, crazy American housewife, and 16th century English queen. But one role stands out as the most impressive transformation. In 2007's I'm Not There, she played an extremely convincing version of folk legend Bob Dylan. From her wig and makeup to her mannerisms and voice, Blanchett embodies Dylan perfectly. The role earned her many accolades and propelled her career to new heights. Blanchett also played 13 different, distinct characters in the 2015 film Manifesto.